Many years ago, when the West was fought over between natives, outlaws, and sheriffs, there was an iconic symbol in many towns. This symbol was a huge focal point to deter thieves, bandits, and pretty much anyone who wanted to cause trouble in these semi-peaceful towns. Each state had a name for it. Witness tree. Some called it the lynch tree. I just refer to it as the hanging tree. Now, most of you have heard of the gallows, probably from an old pirate movie or an early settlement documentary. These trees are not them. The gallows basically were a raised wooden platform with a sturdy piece of wood constructed over top of said platform, where the guilty would be executed via hanging. Typically in a larger town, the sheriff would make an arrest, the arrested would be tried, and then, depending on the crimes, be sentenced to the gallows. The hanging tree was not as tame as the gallows. The hanging tree was a tool used by townsfolk to inflict a drawn-out and painful death without trial. So basically, if you were to stumble into a small town with a hanging tree, and let's say, killed a cow, robbed a general store, or even murdered one of the townsfolk, they would surround you, collectively beat you until you had very little energy to fight back. Then they would rope your neck and drag you to the hanging tree. The towering oak tree would yield no pity nor regret as the rope is slung from its thick branches. The end of the rope would either be tied off to a horse, or even a few strong men would simply begin hoisting you up and up. The heated rope will begin to tighten around your neck, rubbing the flesh raw. Instinctively, you'll begin clawing at the rope in a wasted attempt to free yourself. This very moment is where the hanging tree differs from the gallows. The gallows typically involve some type of drop from the platform, resulting in the breaking of the neck. They were looked at as a more efficient and humane way of execution. At this point, your feet would be raised off the ground, your eyes getting slightly blurry, yet taking in every person around you cheering on your demise. The weight of your body is now pulling on your throat. It seems like forever since you've last took a single breath. Your vision has left you. All that is left is the cheering crowd and the choking sensation. A sensation so intense it almost makes you vomit. Yet, your throat has been closed for 5 minutes already. You start feeling lightheaded, disoriented. Your hands lose their ability to grasp the rope and fall to your sides. Your throbbing heart, however strong as it may feel, it begins to slow. Your muscles begin a string of random spasms, causing your body to flail and jerk while gently swinging from the tree. Then, your body stops. You have just joined the ranks of the countless others who have shared this fate. The townsfolk would leave your body up there in the tree to serve as a warning for those troublemakers that wander into town, until the buzzards picked your bones clean. Well, the reason I gave you all a history lesson is because I live right next to a hanging tree. When I was young, my father forbidden me from ever playing on the tree. He said that I would get hurt and gave me some story about a friend who climbed on the tree, fell, and snapped his neck, So I stayed away from the tree, though I always kept a watchful eye on the tree from my bedroom window. When I became a teenager, my father once again fabricated another reason to stay away from the tree. He told me that it was bad luck to go near it, that a coworker of his drunkenly took a nap under the tree. The next morning, he was found dead. The official report, or so I'm told, said that it was severe alcohol poisoning. Still young and impressionable, I heeded my father's warnings and kept my distance. The night finally arrived when I encountered the tree for myself. Prom had just been let out. Some kids stayed at a hotel. Others went on to other party locations. I, however, decided to take a late-night stroll back to my house with my date. I won't lie and say I didn't drink. A group of my close friends and I snuck out back during prom and killed a couple bottles. My date and I were walking towards the house. She lived right up the street, so we decided a moonlit walk instead of trying to cram into a tacky limousine would be more romantic. The hanging tree broke the horizon, its jagged black branches carved into the bluish night sky. My date stared at the tree, challenging me to a race. Normally, I would have declined, but with the alcohol in my system, I was up for anything. She counted down and, like a bad cliché, took off at 2. Once again, I would have let her win, but the alcohol said run as fast as you can. I dropped my tuxedo jacket and sprinted after her. Without me even realizing that I passed her, I was already catching my breath, with one hand on the tree. For some reason, I couldn't catch my breath. It felt as if each breath I took, less and less air actually passed into my lungs. I remember hearing my date screaming and the feeling of a rope wrapped around my neck. I vaguely remember a silhouette of a man standing mere inches away from me. Then, the rest is a blank. I awoke in the local hospital. The officers walked in questioning me about the previous night. After telling them everything, they reassured me that they will do everything in their power to find the man that did this to me. My prom date came in shortly after the police left. I asked her if she was all right and if she had seen the man who attacked me. I could tell that the fear was still deeply affecting her, as it took her a moment to respond. She told me that we were the only people at the tree, but somehow I was being pulled into the tree. I was confused at first, thinking that my date had lost her mind. She pulled out a mirror and pointed it at me. I saw deep rope burns surrounding my neck. I don't know if I was attacked by someone or what, but let's just say I steer clear of most trees nowadays.